Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the all-new 2022 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. In the first part of this video, we're going to be going over the changes for 2022, then we're going to get into why this truck is important, and then we'll wrap things up with whether or not you should look into buying a 2022 Power Wagon. With all that being said, let's get into the video. Now let's get into the changes for the 2022 Ram Power Wagon. First off, it is going to be the same body style that it has been since the 2019 model year. Nothing is changing there. Now the changes that are happening for the 2500 and 3500 with all the other trucks are also going to carry over into the Power Wagon. So most likely new air filtration system, but other than that, nothing else is really changing. So I guess that's a little bit sad. So again, we're still going to have the same naturally aspirated 6.4 liter V8, 410 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque, paired to that 8-speed automatic transmission. Lighting is going to be all the same. All that stuff is going to be the same. But I guess the exciting news is we do get a new package with the Power Wagon. It's called the Level 3 Equipment Group, most likely. That's at least what everyone is calling it. And it's basically going to be a limited Power Wagon. So if you guys don't know, Ram last year, or well, for 2021, which is still technically this year, but anyways, the trucks are sold out, sold the 75th anniversary package. And that gave you a Power Wagon with a unique exterior paint color, unique front grille, headlights, and then also a limited interior with a bunch of nice luxury features, and then beadlock capable wheels with rock rails. And that package sold amazingly well. I mean, every single dealership, as soon as they got one, it was sold, and they completely sold out on all of the orders that they had with that truck. And so Ram said, okay, you know what? People really like this package, so let's offer it in the 2022 model year, but obviously not call it the 75th anniversary. We'll just offer it as a fully loaded Power Wagon that's a little bit more expensive, and that's what they're doing. So you'll be able to get a Power Wagon with a limited interior, 12-inch display, and so you'll have like the really nice dash, really nice seats, nice materials on the door panel, the 17-speaker sound system from Harman Kardon that also has a subwoofer, all of the adjustments that you get with the seat that's associated with that. It sounds like they're not going to do the same headlights that they put on the 75th anniversary though, so it'll still just get the regular Power Wagon headlights and taillights. And then also, it's not going to get that grille that the 75th anniversary had. Again, it's just going to get the regular Power Wagon grille, so that's not going to change. And then in terms of the beadlock capable wheels and then the rock rails, those are going to be a separate package from the sounds of it. And they might not even offer the beadlock wheels at all. It's still kind of up in the air. Hopefully they do, but it sounds like that'll be like a separate off-roading package. So if you just want those options, you could get them on a lower down trim. But then if you wanted just to have a nice interior and you didn't really care about those wheels and the rock rails, then you could get that. And so it sounds like they're kind of, I guess, splitting it up, if that makes sense. And I mean, this is obviously good, but it's also bad at the same time, because everyone that bought the 75th anniversary is now going to be like, well, I do have this limited numbered truck, but the reason that I got this truck was because I'd have this super unique truck that had options that no other Power Wagon could have, and now everyone's going to be able to have the same options for the next model year. So I guess that'll kind of make them feel a little bit sour, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. But yeah, aside from that, there's not really any other major changes other than those two packages. And again, I just want to emphasize that there is no confirmation on the beadlock capable wheels, but I think they'll end up offering those because people really like that. And I guess the sad news is we still don't have 35s with the Power Wagon from the factory. They need to do that, but they haven't yet. I don't know if they'll ever do it with the Power Wagon, but yeah, that's pretty much all of the options for the 2022 model year and the changes, which there's not a whole lot of changes, sadly. Now let's get into whether or not this really matters. Now let's talk about the importance with these changes, and I think these changes are actually pretty important because this is the first time we're going to be able to get a full-blown luxury Power Wagon that's not just a limited special edition. It's going to be a truck that anyone can order, that anyone can get their hands on. So I think that's pretty exciting. And this is going to be the coolest like off-road truck ever, because it's going to be a full-blown luxury interior off-road truck, kind of like what we have with the T-Rex, but now we're getting that with the Power Wagon. Again, kind of more of a mainstream, more available version of it, aside from the 75th anniversary. So that stuff is exciting. But other than that, I mean, anything that happens to the Power Wagon, I guess, is pretty exciting because it's pretty much in a class of its own. I know people constantly compare it to the Tremor. I do it as well, but in all reality, the Power Wagon doesn't really compete against anything because there's no other truck in the heavy duty segment that has a locking front and rear differential and then sway bar disconnect as well. Everything else that is an off-road truck in this segment typically just has a locking rear differential, no sway bar disconnect whatsoever, and they usually still offer diesel powertrains, whereas the Power Wagon only offers a gas powertrain, so there is also that differentiating factor. And then on top of that, it seems like all the other trucks use bigger tires than what the Power Wagon uses, so I guess that's a little bit of a difference as well. And so I guess anything that happens in the Power Wagon is pretty exciting, but this isn't really going to shake things up all that much. So if you don't own a Power Wagon, here's what I have to say, and this will get into whether or not you should buy this 2022 Power Wagon. Then I think the 2022 is going to be worth it if you want to have the luxury interior. And again, they might do the beadlock capable wheels. That's not guaranteed. And so if you want that luxury interior and the beadlock capable wheels and you weren't able to get a 75th anniversary, then this would probably be a great time to get those options. Again, just on the wheels, you may or may not be able to get them, but I mean, I'm sure you could find them after the fact, so that's not too difficult. Anyways, you can just do a set of aftermarket wheels. Now, aside from that, if you currently own a Power Wagon, is it worth upgrading to the new 2022? And the answer is most likely not, unless you really want that limited interior, right? If you have the Bighorn based interior or you have the Laramie based interior and it's just not really doing it for you, then this limited base interior might be worth going for, because it's just really nice, especially with just the overall aesthetic that you get, and then also with how nice those seats feel and look and all of that. And so if you're kind of looking for that, then it would make sense. And then on top of that, it sounds like they might not do the weird coloration that they did in the 75th anniversary, because with the 75th anniversary, it was kind of like that brownish interior, and you guys will see the images in the video, whereas it sounds like you might be able to get just a full black limited interior. And so I guess if you want that, then it could also be worth switching over, especially if you have a 75th anniversary and you're not really too in love with the interior. Then on top of that, if you didn't like the exterior colors that came with the 75th anniversary, then this will give you the option of getting different exterior colors. Like if you just want a plain black truck or a white truck, right? You don't want the gray that the 75th came with, then you could do that. And then I think the other one was the orange color. There's the gray and the orange for the 75th anniversary. I think that was it. The molten orange, I love that color. And then there was that gray, which looks really cool as well, but I think the molten orange was definitely the route to go. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, unless you really want that nicer, more upgraded interior, it's probably not going to be worth upgrading if you own the current body style Power Wagon. And then if you haven't bought a Power Wagon before, if you want a nicer interior, it's worth it. If not, you'll probably be able to find a used one for a little bit less money than a new one, and it's going to have all the same capabilities as this one if you get a 2019 or newer. And so you're not really missing out on anything by going for the older one. And yeah, that is pretty much going to sum everything up for today's video. I don't want the runtime to be super long on this, because again, there wasn't a whole bunch of changes, so I want to save you guys some time. But anyways, if you're stopping for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe. Comment down below what you think about this new-ish iteration on the Power Wagon, and especially if you own its 75th anniversary. I want you guys to let me know how you feel about Ram offering the 75th options in individual packages now, if you're for it or if you're against it. And yeah, I will see all of you guys in that next video.